Vampire Trail of Terror. Written and narrated by Tony Capobianco. It was 13 hours past noon. Special Agent Cono Castabello inspected the scene of the latest murder. The victim was a pretty young woman. Her pale, lifeless body floated alongside the reflection of the moon in the plunge pool at the bottom of Coffin Falls. The reflected image of the half-moon made it appear as though it was about to eat the remains of the victim. There was just enough blood in the water to make the reflection of the moon look like it was a crimson blood moon. This uncontrollable and unwelcome detail of the natural world added to the already unsettling and horrific scene. The town of Coffin Falls was named after this beautiful but dangerous waterfall located in upstate South Carolina. The falls themselves were named on account of its shape. The water cascaded down, giving the eerie appearance of a coffin. Tragically, the name of Coffin Falls also seemed fitting on account of the lives that were claimed there. Hiking to the top of the falls may have rewarded the hiker with a stunning view, but that view sometimes came with a price. The wet rocks were slippery, and at times one misstep was the last step that a hiker ever took. While one death caused by the falls wasn't a surprise, 3 deaths in 1 month was unusual. This, the third death at Coffin Falls, seemed to confirm Special Agent Castabello's suspicion. The previous 2 deaths were no isolated incidents or accidents. He thought that these were murders, and that they were committed by the same individual. To his mind, this had been the work of a serial killer. Not only did the details in this case match up with the details of the previous 2 deaths at Coffin Falls, but they matched up with 10 other unsolved cases along the East Coast. As with the other recent unsolved cases, the throat of this young lady had been ripped out. Her body had been drained of all its blood. A macabre trail of 13 dead bodies, drained of blood, stretched from the Hudson Valley of New York to upstate South Carolina. If Special Agent Castabello was correct, then this would bring the killer's number of victims up to 13. One thing in particular was different about this last death. Unlike the 12 previous killings, there was a witness. Adam Gabriel called 911 immediately after he saw his best friend, Lori Haddensmith, plunge down Coffin Falls. "I'm Special Agent Castabello with the FBI," he said as he flashed his badge to Adam. "Why did you call 911? What did you see?" "My friend, Lori, was at the top of Coffin Falls. She screamed like she was really scared. I looked up, and then she fell down from the top of the falls down into the pool of water," answered Adam. "Was Lori by herself up there? What was she doing?" Agent Castabello asked with a firm, inexpressive look. "Well, sir, she wanted to take a look from up top to get a memorable view. You see, Lori's big on making as many moments as possible, and she didn't want to miss this moment. She said that the full moon reflecting in the water below the falls probably looked gorgeous. She loved gazing up at the night sky for as long as I knew her," explained Adam in a voice that seemed very far away. "Adam, why weren't you up there with her? Tell me exactly what you were doing at the time." "Sir, I was gathering some more branches to keep the fire going. We were going to sleep by the fire underneath the night sky," said Adam as he fidgeted with his fingers. "Why tonight? Why did you come to Coffin Falls?" asked Agent Castabello with the intention of seeing if Adam would keep his story straight. We came out here tonight because it was a beautiful night. Lori didn't want to miss any moments. She wanted to make memories and enjoy every bit of every minute. She was especially excited to come to Coffin Falls because she had only moved to South Carolina a few days ago. Adam explained with tears falling down his cheeks and over his mouth. Did you have a fight with Lori tonight? Were you sick of being just friends? You wanted more than friendship, didn't you? Agent Castabello pressed with a sharper tone that matched his sharper questions. Wait, what? No, it wasn't like that, sir. We were best friends. We didn't have an argument tonight. Lori recently broke up with her boyfriend, and she wanted to hang out with me to take her mind off of things, Adam said sharply. If you weren't intimate with each other, why did you move down here to South Carolina together? Agent Castabello questioned curiously. Sir, we decided to move down here for a change of scenery and to start over. I had gone to the University of South Carolina, and I loved my time in the Palmetto State. The people were always so nice here. The sunny, warm weather often acted like a natural antidepressant. I often told Lori how great it was down here, so it was natural for her to want to move down here. After her ex-boyfriend broke her heart, it just seemed to make sense to move down here. She was going to waitress tables and look into going to college, Adam calmly explained as he wiped tears from his eyes. Adam, your license says that you're from Junction Ridge, New York. When exactly did you leave New York? I left New York a month ago, and Lori got down here several days ago, Adam responded as he quickly ran his right hand through his black hair. So you've been down here a month? Asked Agent Castabello. Yes, sir. That's correct. That's very interesting. Son, did you know that there's a trail of dead bodies from Junction Ridge all the way down here to the South Carolina mountains? Questioned Agent Castabello with an icy cold look in his eyes. No, I don't know anything about a trail of dead bodies. Back in Junction Ridge, I had heard about some animal attacks, but what does that have to do with anything? Adam confusedly asked. Animal attacks, huh? So you think it's a coincidence that 13 young women had their throats ripped out and their bodies completely drained of blood? You expect me to believe that these murders just happened to occur wherever you've been, and at the same time that you just happened to have been there? Agent Castabello, this is crazy. I have never killed anyone. I didn't hurt Lori, nor would I ever hurt her. New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. Victims were found in each of those states exactly when you were passing through them. We have the credit card receipts of the gas that you purchased on your trip down to Coffin Falls. While I was interviewing you, I had the Bureau look into your credit card statements. After I looked at your license and saw that you were from Junction Ridge, I made sure that we'd take a real close look at your travels. This can't be happening. None of this makes any sense. Why would I hurt strangers? Why would I kill my best friend? Why on earth would I call 911 to report a murder if I actually committed it? Adam said in frustration. I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like you were jealous. You couldn't stomach the fact that Lori was dating someone else, so you murdered the first girl in Junction Ridge. Ripping out her throat was your way of punishing the part of the human body by which Lori communicated her rejection of your romantic feelings. Unreciprocated love can crush the soul and unhinge the mind from reason. You got your first taste of murder, and you liked it. You killed 4 innocent girls in the Hudson Valley over the course of a year. Then, when Lori broke up with her boyfriend, you snapped because she still wouldn't see you as anything more than a friend. Already a serial killer, this final straw sent you on a violent murder spree. It was a killing spree that saw you murder 5 girls in half of a day. After that rampage, over the course of a month, you murdered 3 more young ladies, including Lori's murder here at Coffin Falls. The murder of Lori, the genesis of your rage, was the culmination of your fiendish work. As we stand here tonight, you've murdered 13 innocent young ladies. That's what I think happened, Agent Castabello explained as he stepped closer to Adam. I'm innocent. I had nothing to do with any of this. If Lori didn't die from an accident or an animal attack, catch the maniac that did this, angrily said Adam. This was an animal attack. It was a series of violent attacks committed by a member of the Homo sapiens. There will be justice for these homicides, said Agent Castabello as he read Adam his rights and arrested him. As Agent Castabello walked the suspect to the police car, he felt a chill go down his spine. For just a brief moment, he saw a pair of glowing red eyes peering at him from on top of Coffin Falls. He blinked his eyes, and when he opened them, the red eyes were gone. Were his eyes mistaken? Was his mind playing tricks on him? Or was it possible that there was some strange animal there? He couldn't be certain, so he had decided to ask some deputies from the Coffin Falls Police Department to do an additional sweep of the area. Something troubled Agent Cono Castabello. Everything seemed to fit perfectly. Too perfectly. Rarely did evidence match up this well so quickly. Then, too, the psychological element just felt off. Logic told him that his psychological profile of Adam seemed sound. Yet he couldn't shake the feeling that his assessment wasn't really sound at all. He had extensive experience in tracking, arresting, and interviewing psychopaths. He had interviewed dozens of convicted serial killers in an attempt to become a better criminal profiler. Adam didn't seem like a psychopath. Gut instinct kept telling him that there was something more to this case. Sleep wasn't possible for Agent Castabello so long as his mind was nagging him. Next, he did 2 of the things that made him a great agent. He followed his instincts, and he never put off things that he could do now. The half-moon was still in the night sky as he walked to his car in the hotel parking lot. Feelings of urgency and impending doom flooded through him like a rising tide as he drove towards the police station where Adam was being detained. 3 sheriff's deputies were on duty at the police station when Agent Castabello walked through the doors. It was 3:45 in the morning. The sensation of impending doom increased as he walked to the jail in the back of the station. Darkness mingled with low light in the jail cell. A shadowy figure lurched over Adam's body. It appeared as though the shadow person was sucking on or biting Adam's neck. As he drew his gun, he ordered the shadow man to step away from the prisoner. The shadow man laughed maniacally and said, "No, you foolish mortal. I give the commands." "I'm not going to tell you again. Step away from the prisoner and put your hands up," Agent Castabello ordered. "You have no idea what you are dealing with. You haven't got a clue as to what is about to happen here. You should have stayed in your hotel and gone to sleep," said the Shadow Man. As the Man of Shadows stepped closer towards the bars of the cell, Agent Castabello could see that this was no ordinary man. It appeared like a grotesque creature from a nightmare rather than a man. A demonic face with a large mouth and two large fangs grinned at him. Terrible red glowing eyes stared at him. No, those dreadful red eyes seemed to stare right through him. "What are you?" asked Agent Castabello as he kept his gun pointed on the hideous creature. "I'm immortal. I'm a god," replied the creature. "What are you doing to me? Why are you doing this to me?" cried out Adam with a terrified look on his face. "Since I'm about to wipe this FBI agent's mind of any memory of me, I'll tell you. I am a vampire. You left Junction Ridge at 6:30 p.m., and you arrived here at Coffin Falls at 6:30 a.m. the next day. I followed you all night, and I feasted on and killed young women when you stopped for gas or went to a rest area. I want to watch you suffer. It gives me great pleasure to watch innocent humans suffer. I will drink your blood from time to time so that I'll be able to taste your anguish. The blood of the anguished tastes bittersweet. The world will believe that you are a serial killer. In fact, I'm about to make you a notorious serial killer. Momentarily, you will have 15 murders to your name, and 2 of them will be police officers. But wait, it gets better. You will also join the company of Ted Bundy when you escape from this pathetic jail cell. Imagine the terror that will grip not only the town of Coffin Falls, but the entire country when the pathetic mortals learn that a psychotic serial killer killed 2 sheriff's deputies and escaped. After you are free from here, the trail of terror will continue," explained the sinister vampire. 2 deputies came in after hearing the commotion. The keys dropped from the nervous deputies' hands. They were terrified by what they saw. Agent Castabello picked up the keys and unlocked the cell so that he could arrest this fiend and get him away from Adam. When the door opened, the creature moved faster than the eye could track. It grabbed Agent Castabello by the throat and told him to look into his eyes. Looking into the agent's eyes, the fiendish creature compelled him to forget that he had ever seen it, and then he told him to go to sleep. Then, with great violence, the horrifying vampire threw the unconscious agent into the wall. Next, the fiend did the same to the male deputy. The female deputy that came to the jail cell wasn't so fortunate. She had fired a clip into the creature along with her partner when he had lifted Agent Castabello off of the floor by his throat. The bullets had no effect. She reloaded and began to fire more rounds into the monster. Although her aim was true and her shots hit the mark, the creature seemed unfazed. The vampire ripped out her throat and drank from it until there was no blood left. The vampire then moved to the front of the police station to devour the second female officer that was on duty. So diabolical was he that he wanted to make sure that it appeared as though the serial killer kept killing only women, even when his life was in danger. This would make people think that the serial killer was monstrously powerful. This massacre at the police station would turn Adam into a notorious serial killer whose legend would eclipse almost all others. The message was clear. Not even the police or the FBI could stop this serial killer. Terror would dominate and fill the news reports as various talking heads would discuss the massacre at the station. The vampire responsible for this trail of terror wanted to make sure that evil captured the headlines and that it would trend on social media. His goal was to cripple the country and the world with anguish and fear. With this in mind, the dreaded vampire absorbed the gunshots from Deputy Tara, and then he grabbed her by her throat with his left hand and slit her throat with his right fingernail. His fingernails were sharp as razors. Finally, he drank her blood as it gushed out of her neck. Always minding the details, he wanted to ensure that some blood stained the front of the station. The bloodstains were meant to add even more fear and revulsion to all who would see this heinous scene. In what he believed was his master stroke of evil genius, he took Adam's arm and made him write the following in the blood of the victims. The Trail of Terror continues. Signed, The Undead Terror, Tut. I hope that you enjoyed your stay here at the haunted Half Moon Inn. The Master requests that you consider supporting me and the inn by becoming a patron of mine on Patreon. The Half Moon Inn needs your support to keep the doors open. You wouldn't want the residents here to feel forgotten and abandoned, would you? Creating quality scary stories to share with you is very important to me. Running this inn of horror is a passion of mine, and I would truly appreciate your support. The world is hurting. It needs more horror. Help me to heal the world through horror. Together, with your help, we could haunt this world one home at a time. Until next time, always remember, just because you don't see them doesn't mean that they aren't there.
Thank you.